Welcome to the audio-visual guide to the exterior of the Sagrada Familia temple in Barcelona. We will take a tour around the facades of the temple.
Suggestions: normally, the Sagrada Familia is very crowded. We recommend caution with your personal belongings. Pause or advance the video to match your walking speed. If you have little time, this guide will show you the most relevant elements of the facades in just 15 minutes. Now, put your headphones, try to find on the basilica the scenes explained and enjoy the tour. While visiting the most outstanding elements of the exterior of the basilica, try to find the world's strongest turtle, the little dog, the magic square. In addition, we will suggest the best spots to take your selfie. The Sagrada Familia is located in the quarter of the same name, in the district of l'Eixample, which means the extension. About 2.4 kilometers from Plaza Catalunya, about 30 minutes by foot. You can also reach the Sagrada Familia with the metro by taking the purple line, L2, or the blue, L5. The metro map is displayed on the screen. Upon arrival, head to the Plaza Gothi exit. The Sagrada Familia is located on Marina Street, between Mallorca and Provença streets, as indicated by the number 1 on the screen. Our tour begins in front of the Sagrada Familia, at Marina Street. To continue hearing the general information about the basilica, we suggest you sit down for a few minutes under the shadow. Towards the east is the Nativity facade, Marina Street, the one you should be seeing at the moment. To the west is the facade of the Passion and Death, on Sardinia Street, and to the south on the Calle Mallorca, the Facade of the Glory of Jesus is being built. Important numbers: 1882, construction started. 172.5 meters, is the maximum predicted height of the central tower. 18, number of towers. 144 years will have passed until its completion. 2026, year in which the Sagrada Familia shall be finished. 15 years lived Gothi within the Sagrada Familia. 1926, year death of Gothi, to his 74 years. 80% of the tourists who visit the Sagrada Familia do not enter the interior. 4.5 million tourists entered the Sagrada Familia in 2010. 150 houses will be demolished to make way for the main entrance. 7.5 tons weighs the altar stone. 4,500 square meters of built area. General information: the Expiatory Temple of the Holy Family is a Catholic basilica, designed by the Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí. Expiatory: the expiatory temple is built from donations by means of which the donor hopes to atone, to receive the absolution of sins. Basilica: remarkable church for its antiquity, greatness, for the cults that are celebrated in it or that enjoys certain privileges, similar to the Roman basilicas. History: in 1866 Josep Maria Bocabella, a Barcelonian bookseller, founded the Spiritual Association of Devotees of Saint Joseph, which promoted the construction of a temple dedicated to the Holy Family, starting 1874. In 1881, thanks to several important donations, the association buys a plot of land of 12,800 square meters. The first stone was laid on March 19, 1882. From then on, construction started, beginning with the crypt located under the apse according to a neo-Gothic design of the architect Francisco de Paula del Villar, the first architect of the temple, who shortly after it leaves the direction of the work, and the order passes to Antoni Gaudí. The crypt is finished in 1889. Crypt: underground floor for worship in a church. Apse: in a church, part vaulted and usually semicircular that protrudes on the back facade, where normally the altar and the presbytery are located. Gaudí proposes to do a new and greater work. He cancels the neo-Gothic project and proposes a new one more monumental and innovative, with the final objective to be like a Bible of stone, with the explanation of the teachings of the Gospels and of the Church. Gaudí has 3 themes of inspiration: the Bible, the Eucharist and nature. Gaudí had a sick childhood. He suffered from arthritis since he was 6 years old, which prevented him from moving and playing like other children. Perhaps this situation favored Gaudi's capacity for observation and his love for nature. We will see the effect of this love for nature not only in the decoration of the Sagrada Familia, but also in the structural design. In 1892 the foundations for the façade of the Nativity were laid, and it was finished by 1894. Instead of building the whole basilica from bottom to top, Gaudi decided to fully build the towers of the Nativity first, so the people would be impressed, donated more, and, like you, came from all corners of the world to see it. From the year 1914, Gaudi works exclusively in the construction of the Sagrada Familia. On November 30, 1925, the construction of the first bell tower of the Nativity façade was finished. It was a 100 meters high tower dedicated to Saint Barnabas. This is the only tower Gaudi saw built, since on June 1929 he died from an accident. He was hit by a tram. After Gaudi's death, his closest collaborator, Dominique Chagrins, assumed office until 1938. In 1930 the bell towers of the Nativity façade were also finished, and in 1933 the portal of the In July 1936, as a result of the military uprising and the Spanish Civil War, revolutionaries set fire to the crypt, burned the provisional schools of the Sagrada Familia and destroyed the workshop. At that time the original blueprints, drawings, and photographs were lost, and a large part of the gypsum scale models was damaged. After the war, the construction is resumed, which slowly continues to rise. In 2000, the vaults of the central nave and the transept were built, and at the same time, the foundations of the Facade of the Glory were laid. That year, on the occasion of the change of millennium, a mass is celebrated inside the temple that allows understanding the grandiosity of the work. Transept, transverse nave that crosses the main nave and gives to the churches and cathedrals Latin cross shape. In 2001 the central window of the Passion façade is completed and a stained glass window dedicated to the Resurrection is placed, by Joan Villagrau. Also, the four columns of the center of the transept are finalized. In the year 2010, the Pope Benedict XVI consecrates the Church of the Sagrada Family and the altar. Station number 1. Nativity Facade. To the left, the Portal of Hope, dedicated to Saint Joseph. Above we see the wedding scene of Joseph and Mary. Below we see the representation of the flight of Egypt. To the right the sacrifice of the Holy Innocents. And at the center, we see Joseph with Jesus. In the center, the Portal of Charity, dedicated to Jesus. Above we see the presentation of Jesus in the temple. Further down we see the scene of the Annunciation. Jesus' birth. At the right the three magi and on the right the shepherds worshipping the baby Jesus. Look at the details of the shepherd's puppy. To the right, at the Portal of the Faith. To the right, at the Portal of the Faith, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, we can see Jesus in the arms of Simeon, Jesus preaching, the visitation of Mary to her cousin Elizabeth, and finally to the right, Jesus the laborer, working on the carpenter bench of Joseph. Just above him, you can see a working bee. Gaudi wanted to enhance the virtue of work. Now, walk on the Provenza Street around the Basilica. Once you have reached the Plaza de la Sagrada Familia, walk a few meters along the Cerdeña Street to arrive just in front of the Facade of the Passion and Death. Station number 2. Facade of the Passion and Death. On the screen, you can see a sketch of the western facade dedicated to the Passion and Death of Jesus. This facade is much more austere than that of the Nativity. There are fewer decorative elements and the figures are much more stylized, less realistic. The facade is supported by 6 columns that are shaped like trunks of sequoias. On top of these is a chapiter made up of 18 bone-shaped columns. Each one has a letter or symbol that form the following Latin phrase: Jesus Nazarene, King of the Jews, INRI. This facade also has the portals of faith, hope, and charity. The area of the sculptures is composed of 3 horizontal levels. In the lower are the scenes of the last night of Jesus before Passion. The central level represents the ordeal of Jesus and the higher level the death of the Lord. We see the Last Supper, the kiss of Judas to Jesus, a scene in which the serpent rises behind Judas, also the magic square. Take a moment to try to find the keys. Peter and the 3 negations, wrapped in a sheet representing the shame, the cock that sang 3 times, and to the right side the trial to Jesus. The central level on the left side is the soldier Longino, who nailed his spear to the side of Jesus. In the center is Veronica with the cloth with which she cleared the face of Jesus, and to the right Simon of Cyrene helping Jesus to carry the cross. In the upper level, the soldiers appear gambling Jesus' tunic. In the center, the crucifixion scene appears, with the moon as a symbol of the night and a skull as a symbol of the death. To the right side, Jose de Arimathea and Nicodemus deposit the body in the grave. In the center above there is a bronze sculpture depicting the veil of the Jerusalem temple that was torn in 2 pieces to the death of Jesus. Next to the Judas scene, you can see the magic square. Did you guess what it means? The rows add up to 33. The columns add 33. Each diagonal adds 33. The central square adds 33. The lateral rectangles add 33. The central rectangles up and down add up to 33. The corners add 33. The upper right quadrant adds 33. The left lower quadrant adds 33. The lower right quadrant adds 33. The upper left quadrant adds 33, which was Christ's age when he died. Before moving on to the Facade of Glory, can you see the golden Christ hanging from a beam between the towers? Now, let's go to the Glory Facade, which is located on the Marina Street. Station number 3. Facade of Glory of Jesus. The Facade of the Glory will be the largest and most monumental. It is the main facade, which gives access to the central nave. The work began in 2002. Dedicated to the heavenly glory of Jesus, it represents the path of ascension to God, death, judgment, and glory. Goethe outlined only the general lines of this facade because he said, "The model fragment of the bell towers on the main facade will not complete or develop. I have decided to leave it only programmed for another generation to collaborate in the temple, as is repeatedly seen in the history of cathedrals, whose facades are not only of other authors but also of other styles." If you look towards the opposite side of the Sagrada Familia you will see a small alley, Passage de Font. All these houses will be knocked down to make way for the entrance steps to the temple, while the Marina Street will go underground at this point. Selfie station. These are the best spots to take your picture. We have reached the end of our tour. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching our videos and invite you to visit here more Avid audio guides. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel to see our latest Avid audio guides.